The law enforcement community is in mourning tonight. A police officer backing up deputies shot to death in the line of duty.
We found out that there was a shooting and there was officers running down the street to the house, and it was just crazy.
2 other officers are alive, but wounded.
Please pray for the families of all 3 of these officers.
Tonight, what happened inside this Henry County home as officers tried to make an arrest? Well, tonight we have learned the name of the officer who died in the line of duty, Chase Maddox. The mayor of Locust Grove tells us the 26-year-old had been with the police department for nearly 5 years.
That breaking news is our top story tonight at 6. A chaotic scene unfolding earlier today in Henry County. 2
Henry County deputies were serving a warrant on a man who lived on St. Francis Court. And while they tried to arrest the man, authorities say he opened fire, injuring the deputies and killing Officer Maddox. One of the deputies returned fire and killed the gunman.
We have team coverage of this breaking story from the scene and from the hospital. Let's start first, though, with Fox 5's Morris Diggs, who is live in Locust Grove. Morris, what can you tell us?
Well, Chase Maddox enjoyed being a law enforcement officer. Everybody loved him, is what one brother in blue told me. Now his law enforcement family is trying to comfort his wife. You see, Chase was due to accept another child into the family any day.
It is a very emotional time for the Henry County community.
2 Henry County deputies, Michael Corley and Ralph Sidwell Calloway, survived the violent encounter, but Locust Grove City Officer Chase Maddox did not, and he was first in line in the attempt to carry out an arrest. In the St. Francis Court subdivision in Locust Grove, law enforcement went there this morning to serve a minor warrant. In minutes, gunfire, officers down.
We have 2 deputies that were shot and 1 Locust Grove officer that was shot. The Locust Grove police officer died shortly afterwards at the hospital.
And the individual sought for failing to show up for a court appearance was shot dead.
You never know when you're going to take somebody into custody what kind of response you're going to get. But what our information is that it was obvious that the individual was not going to go.
The sources tell Fox 5 the fallen Locust Grove officer was struck in the head. The 2 Henry deputies hit in the body.
We understand that the bulletproof vest played a key role in the officers who survived, at least the one that's, I believe, in fair condition. Perhaps that the vest played a role and he'll have basically a bruise, something to that effect?
Well, both the sheriff's deputies had on vests. The one that's in fair condition, the round hit the vest. The deputy that's in surgery, the round probably went in maybe 2 inches below his vest into his stomach.
This incident has touched the greater community. I spoke to one elderly woman who did not want to be on television. She brought a bouquet of flowers, went into the police department and just gave it to the secretary to say, this is for the department. This is one first that Locust Grove did not want to ever see. Locust Grove has been around for more than 100 years. This is the first officer to die in the line of duty. I'm going to turn now to Patty Pan, who has reaction. Patty?
Well, you know, we are here in this community where this shooting happened. I can tell you it's still a very active scene. People here still can't believe that something like this happened in their subdivision. Now, once this shock wears off, I can tell you that residents here are saddened to hear that an officer has died and 2 other deputies are now in the hospital. Many just want to know how this all happened.
It just saddens me, and it's scary. It's scary.
Felicia Glover, like many of the residents who live at Hawthorne and Linden Park subdivision, couldn't be more heartbroken at news that Locust Grove officer Chase Maddox is dead and 2 Henry County deputies are in the hospital.
I'm saddened. It's a very quiet neighborhood.
Glover, like many others, were kept from going home Friday afternoon as authorities closed off the subdivision and worked the scene at St. Francis and St. Philip's courts. Authorities say the 3 officers were serving a warrant when the shooting happened. The suspect is also dead. Teenager Kiara Maribel was home around the corner being homeschooled.
I heard it sounded like firecrackers going off, And, you know, I didn't think much of it.
She says immediately after she knew something was wrong.
There was like cop cars zooming up and down the street, and my sister was like, "There's cop cars," and we were just like, "Wait, what?" And then like we came outside, and it just like escalated really quickly, and we found out that there was a shooting, and there was officers running down the street to the house, and like it was just like crazy.
For hours, law enforcement officers were on the scene gathering evidence and piecing together the sequence of events that led to this deadly shooting. Back out here live, as you can see, it's still a very active scene. It appears authorities, agents, they're going to be out here for a long time to come. Reporting live in Locust Grove tonight, I'm Patty Pan, Fox 5 News.
Well, our hearts go out to Officer Maddox's family and everyone who loved him. Patty, thanks very much. Medics rushed the 2 Henry County deputies to the hospital with gunshot wounds.
We spoke with the brother of Deputy Michael Corley outside of Atlanta Medical Center. He tells us his brother was saved by his bulletproof vest.
Well, that much is good news. And Christy Hutchings with the new Talk 1067 is live there tonight. Christy, you've seen his families have arrived too.
Yes, we saw them as they got here. Some of them actually had police escorts to get them here quicker, get them through that traffic. And like you said, we did speak with Deputy Michael Corley's brother just shortly after he saw that his brother was going to be okay.
Just got to lay hands on them a while ago, so but just pray for these families. There's a lot going on right now, a lot going on in there, but just pray with them.
Wade Corley was one of many rushing into Atlanta Medical Center after learning their loved ones had been shot. Wade talks about hearing the news for the first time that his brother had been in a shooting.
I had both his boys with me today, so when I got the call, it was bad.
Deputy Michael Corley was one of 3 officers brought here to Atlanta Medical Center. Deputy Corley had the least serious of the injuries. His vest saved him.
He really hadn't had time to process what happened. Being shot is a whole different thing. This is his first time he's ever had to encounter something like this.
Deputy Ralph Calloway was shot below the vest. He is out of surgery. But the 3rd officer, Locust Grove Police Officer Chase Maddox, did not survive. We were here as law enforcement escorted his body from the hospital. Wade says right now what all the family need are prayers.
3 of them need prayer, and all we could do is lift them up and let God take care of them.
And at the time of that interview, Wade did not know that Officer Maddox had passed away. But Wade also says that he wanted to take time to thank all the doctors, the nurses, and all the officers who responded to this. Live in Atlanta, Christy Hutchings with the new Talk 1067 for Fox 5 News.
Christy, thanks. We'll have another update from the scene and the hospital coming up in our next half hour. You can also find the updates on fox5atlanta.com and the Fox 5 Atlanta news app.
We're